program is The Active Center. It's created by David Sappe.
Pronounced Seppi.
Pronounced Seppi.
All right, let's talk about one of the biggest ideas in all of economics, supply and demand. By the time we're done here, you are going to finally get what those invisible forces are that set the price for, well, pretty much everything. I mean, have you ever really thought about your morning coffee? Why does it cost what it does? $4, not 2, or hey, maybe not 10. It's definitely not just some random number somebody in a boardroom picked. The real answer is actually this super fascinating story that's playing out all around us every single day. So the key to solving this whole price puzzle, it's all about this constant tug of war. You've got these two incredibly powerful, totally opposite forces that are always battling it out in the market. And trust me, once you learn to spot them, you'll start seeing them absolutely everywhere. Okay, so the first of these forces, it actually starts with us. Yeah, you, me, literally anyone who buys stuff. And in the lingo of economics, we call this demand. But here's a super important detail you gotta get. Demand isn't just about wanting something. I mean, I want a private jet, but that doesn't count, right? For it to be real economic demand, you have to be both willing and able to actually buy it. It's that ability to pay. That's what turns a daydream into a real force that moves the market. So how does demand actually work? Well, it follows this really simple, logical rule called the law of demand. And the relationship is what we call inverse. Basically, when the price of something goes up, the amount people are willing to buy goes down. It's totally intuitive, right? I mean, when your favorite pizza place has a 2-for-1 deal, you're probably going to buy more pizza. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you, a way to remember this forever. If you ever see a graph of this stuff, the demand curve always goes downward. So just think, D for demand, D for downward. Simple as that. All right, so that's one half of the story. Now let's flip the coin and look at the other side. We're talking about the sellers now. You know, the companies, the stores, the factories that make and sell all the things we want to buy. This, my friends, is the world of supply. And you know, it's a lot like demand in one way. Supply is all about what businesses are both willing and able to do. The difference is it's about what they're willing and able to sell at all these different prices. It really all boils down to what motivates them, their incentives. And that brings us to the law of supply, which is basically a perfect mirror image of the law of demand. The relationship here is direct. What that means is when the price of something goes up, companies want to supply more of it. And that makes total sense, right? Higher prices mean a bigger chance for profit. And what's a better motivator than that to start making more stuff? And right here, this is the showdown. This is the central conflict. Think about it. We as buyers want to buy less when prices are high, but the sellers, they want to sell more when prices are high. We're pulling in completely opposite directions. So how on earth does a price ever get set? Well, this is where the magic of the market comes in. It finds a way to resolve this whole conflict by zeroing in on a kind of sweet spot, a perfect balance point where both sides can basically shake hands and agree. That balance point has a name, market equilibrium. It is the one single price where the number of things people want to buy is the exact same as the number of things companies want to sell. People also call it the market clearing price, and that's a great name for it because at this price, the market just clears. Every product finds a home, no stuff left over, nobody going home empty-handed. This really is the point of perfect harmony. Think back to our coffee. At that equilibrium price, let's say it's $4, the number of coffees people want to buy is exactly the same as the number of coffees that cafes are happy to sell at that price. Both sides are totally in sync. Okay, but that's in a perfect world. What happens when things get messy? What if the price gets knocked off that perfect balance point? What happens when the price is just wrong? Let's look at scenario 1, a surplus. This is what you get when the price is set way too high, above that equilibrium point. At this high price, sellers are thinking, great, let's make a ton. But we, the buyers, we look at that price tag and say, no thanks. And that creates a huge problem. Shelves and warehouses just full of stuff gathering dust. And for those sellers, there's really only one solution. They have to drop the price. So yeah, a surplus is basically the market sending up a big red flag saying, hey, this price is too high. It creates this natural downward pressure that starts pushing the price back down, right toward that sweet spot we were talking about. All right, now let's flip it. Let's talk about the opposite problem, a shortage. This is what happens when the price is set too low. Imagine that hot new tech gadget is priced way cheaper than everyone expected. What happens? everybody rushes to buy it. But at that super low price, the company probably didn't make enough to go around. You get empty shelves, you get frustrated customers, and all of a sudden you have all these buyers competing against each other. And that gives the sellers all the power they need to start raising the price.
Exactly. A shortage is like the market is literally screaming, the price is too low, we need more. All that intense demand from us, the consumers, creates this unstoppable upward pressure, and it forces that price to climb right back up toward equilibrium.
Okay, so let's do a super quick recap. Demand, that's us, the buyers, and we buy less when prices are high. Supply, that's the sellers, and they sell more when prices are high. Equilibrium, that's the perfect sweet spot where they both agree. Surplus, price is too high, it's got to come down. Shortage, price is too low, it's got to go up. Got it? So you see, in the end, there's no single person, no CEO, no committee that decides the price of your coffee. It's all determined by this really beautiful, almost magical, self-correcting dance between millions of buyers and sellers. It's what the famous economist Adam Smith called an invisible hand, just constantly guiding the market to find the perfect price for everything. And that leaves us with one final pretty big question to chew on. If this system is so good at finding the perfect price all by itself, what happens when someone else tries to take control? What happens when an outside group, like a government, steps in and says, no, this is the price? What kind of chaos, what kind of shortages and surpluses do you think that might cause? Well, that's a puzzle for another day.